And welcome back in. Thanks for hanging out with us. Here's the update on what we've got going on. Wrong You did encounter a bug on Umoja. So with both teams having used their pause, we've remade the lobby. So we'll have a remake of game number 1 here, which we can hop into any second, and we'll have the game back going for you. It's not too long of a delay, but we apologize for that slight pause in the action. We should be back into it soon. Again, a remake due to a bug for Wrong You, but everybody's back in and game is remade, ready to go. So Trelly, it's a fresh start, which, it's tough to always say kind of who if it favors in these situations. It's never ideal, but in a weird way, I feel like it favors both. Because for Garf's Goblins, you get a cleaner start for the early game, and for Scrumptious, you get a reset as things were starting to look a little bit grim.
Yeah, it did seem like the scales were tipping a bit in Garf's Goblins' favor, at least towards the end of that fight. But regardless, should be a clean start back for both of these squads. I think as far as compositions go, it's not like it favors one or the other. They both were trying to get to late game regardless. So it's not as if that's going to be too big of an issue here. But hey, I think something about being able to keep your mental strong for the majority of a 3-game set is something to be said here as well. You got to be locked in for the entirety of it. So shouldn't be too big of an issue for either one of these squads.
For sure. The biggest thing we'll be looking for is, will there be another invaded drunk diplomat? Let's head in the game for our remake and find out. It's still Mellum. It's still Trelly with you. Still Doug on Spectator. We're back in. Again, a remake of game number 1 here between Scrumptious and Garf's Goblins due to a bug for Wrong You. Everything's reset, ready to go, and we'll have a new outlook for things. And I'm sure, again, the biggest positive for Garf's Goblins is you get to either relive or redo the start of game 1, which was Drunk Diplomat being invaded and picked off for an early first blood.
And you can see Killcam Kenny already covering the option just in case. I doubt they would try that play again. It would, it's got to be something you're watching out for again, because you probably haven't leveled your abilities either if you are Drunk Diplomat. But regardless, anyway, too big of changes besides that. Zapman does have the Aegis. Could be important for Baron's Bruise, though. That's something that I talked a little bit about in game number 1, just the fact that it's unexpected burst damage if you're not ready for it.
Nice.
And I do want to pay attention to the way that Nog and Shinto pilot the map as per usual, because they are absolute threats when they're able to get going. And they are usually able to quickly farm. That's kind of what Loki and the Morgan do. They have that level of safe farm that a lot of other characters cannot match.
Nothing crazy. No invades this time around. It makes a lot of sense. You can't really replay the invade onto the on her. I mean, talk about telegraph in this scenario. The mid laner starting mid. The only unique thing I see across the map is Sunprod helping out Lord Garfield with the blue and then going to red as Haddock started in the lane. Everything else, par for the course.
This one's slow. I still do think that Sunprod has the ability to get active a little bit more so than Nog. I mean, Mordred with that shoulder charge essentially has 3 abilities at level 2, which means you have a lot more kill potential than a Loki would have. But the difference maker could just be that blink. Remember, Nog, you're able to just instantly teleport to someone with a vanish. The slows come through. Could be kill potential of plenty. Remember, Runyu has been on point with this Umoja. The stun sets up a root, another stun sets up a Phantom Shells. That man doesn't have the damage to find it, but already forcing out a relic definitely bodes well. I would be telling Nog, head over to duo lane because there's kill potential already.
Nog a bit stuck in the mid lane, can't get past that man. All of a sudden gets blown up for first blood. But Killcam Kenny, talk about turning the tables. That was as quick as it can get. First blood for Garf's Goblins. I was just about to say to you, how nerve-wracking would it be for Drunk Diplomat and Killcam Kenny? You had your on her be the first blood in the original form of game 1 for it to happen again, but never mind. The what if won't happen here. Instead, Garf's Goblins pick up first blood.
Certainly do. Alrighty, find some good pressure in mid lane though. Where do you try and use that pressure? You can see, Sunprod wants to head over to the duo lane all the while. Kill in mid lane is on the mind for Nog. They're scrapping all over which jungler can get active first. I bet it's Sunprod. He has already made his way over, and that man's in some trouble.
The root already beats out. Sunprod forward, damage on, Aegis out. Was it time perfect enough? A dash in for Killcam Kenny. The tower's gonna get the shot off, and Wrong You will get the credit for the kill. Gilcam Kenny really wanted that second pick onto Zapman and pays for it. Nog is here. Damage minimal. Damage done. Zapman survives. And a kill for Wrong You.
I thought there might be a kill potential in mid, unfortunately, but Des just had the juke shoes or well-timed relic to make sure the Nog and Shinto could not find him. Remember, Haddix was getting good pressure. Bacchus into Baron seems like a favorable matchup at first until Life of the Party comes about. Then you can't really flop if you're Lord Garfield, which can definitely be a scary thought as well. Keep that one in mind. Level lane could be where Nog tries to get active on this Loki. Level 3 available for Mordred, but haven't had those ultimates come about. That's only here for Dest. And actually Blink available for Shinto, something else to consider. You got to watch out for the Blink into a transformation into another option here for the Morgan.
Garf's Goblins looked to invade. Blue not up to take the steal away. Not exploited safe and survives in solo as well. Across the map, aggressive positioning coming out from Scrumptious into the Chaos side jungle. Pathfinder invade, successful. Right to purple next. And really no answer from Garf's Goblins. Drunk Diplomat goes in looking for the purple and runs into the two members of Scrumptious. We'll see if there's any chance to get it back. Desert's Fury out too early for the steal. Now you've got Nog in front of you as well. Zapman will get that purple buff away. And Nog will be plenty all right. So Garf's Goblins lose out on both their buffs on their left side of the jungle.
Looks all here, World Weaver, depending on getting charged up, but not going to come through. I'm just charging in front of everyone. I think it's pretty clear what the game plan is, but it's not been able to find it. If anything, it's going to take some good damage. Maybe on the target. Oh my goodness, World Weaver necessary? Debating on it, should probably fire just in case. And Zapman gets the last hit onto kill Cam Kenny. Probably not a very good dash for the Amaterasu. Remember, there's a lot of burst damage that can come from beneath if you step up close and get within the range of those weaves, and pretty much what we saw just there.
A very, very different feel to this game from the previous one. Remakes are rare, you know, when they're needed. It's obviously for the positives, but it's just it's crazy how different this game feels so far. I mean, in particular, the difference of feel for Garf's Goblins. They've got a lead, a small one, sure, but they've got one. Whereas in the previous, they were clawing their way back. Dest had been the focus. Let's see if that's the case again. Sunprod on the way for help, will be in time. Pull back on to Dest. Is that going to be the kill from Shinto? The ult in response, and down goes Dest to Wrong You. Is there enough of a response? Kill Cam Kenny added to the pile. Yes, but Sunprod arrived and got Nog. Not picked up by Life of the Party. Stunned out. Sunprod, no escape it looks like. There's the heart slash, but it's all for naught. A double kill for Haddix.
Definitely a good rotation there. And this is something that I've been highlighting a ton, is just the ability to rotate, something that Haddix has in spades. Lord Garfield considered teleporting there, decided against it. Walked all the way over and said, you know what, can I make it over to duo? Probably not. Nothing would come from it. I'm just going to retreat in the meantime. That being said, though, Gold Fury, definitely a topic of conversation. Hasn't been looked at just yet. And Zap taking the 1v1 and winning it versus Drunk Diplomat. I believe has some gold in hand as well. There's no way Zap isn't ready for a full item at this point. Yeah, about 1,700. Whereas Drunk Diplomat has already backed and spent that gold and was not able to finish up just about anything. This goes to show, again, Neath has ridiculous amounts of sustain already, but you have that extra level once you get a blue buff, a purple buff, and you can just stay in lane for as long as you want, really. Still win trades up against an honor.
Scrumptious now back in a comfortable gold lead and kill lead for that matter. It's crazy how things can turn so far in Smite 2, but for Garf's Goblins, the answer lies in how do you respond to it. We've seen that they can, and we talked a lot about the need for Lord Garfield to have a presence. And one positive so far that I'm noticing, while still being out-rotated, as you've called to a few times, Trelly, notably safer this time. No attention has been put on the Bacchus.
So far, not on the Bacchus, but on the Death, definitely so. Rivers of Butte and Nog will pick up that one, no problem. That man,
double ults.
Same treatment and kill Cam Kenny confirms that one every day of the week. I mean, Garf's Goblins and Scrumptious both putting their pressure across the map, but Depends on where you want that pressure, because here comes Scrumptious, and they want to protect this purple buff, or at the very least try and find a kill.
Decent chunk of damage onto Nog. Sunprod wanted to make a play off of it, but could not. A decent impale onto Wrong You, but the Riptide is still available, and the Emoja gets away. So just a lot of chances for Garf's Goblins to make plays, which even that feels a bit different, but it's still been hard for them to fully take advantage. And I feel like in that particular instance, it was interesting to see Sunprod want it so bad. Ronnie goes down, took the wrong pathing for sure to go back towards the lane, as the Honor was just waiting for the moment. That impale hits, so now 6-4, but points stay the same.
Yeah, definitely not where you wanted to be. You're wrong, you always gotta be watching near the grass. Ward coverage, definitely a topic of conversation, but Old Fury being looked at here by Garf's Goblins. They've got the rotations. Lord Garfield nowhere to be found, but looks like Haddock might have been teleported in. Ultimate does connect even through the stealth. Nog's gonna have to ult down here, but Gold Fury's still being done.
And it's going to go to Garf's Goblins. They get it cleanly, but now they've got a Baron ultimate to deal with from Shinto. Will they live it? Yes, they will. Matter of fact, Shinto could go down, but the World Weaver keeps Shinto safe enough to use the Blink to reposition. So Garf's Goblins, they get the Gold Fury, and they disengage. So despite the lack... Oh my god.
Wherever the light...
Horror movie for Kill Cam Kenny. Despite the lack of rotation from Lord Garfield, it actually kind of works out this time for Garf's Goblins.
So far has been the play. I mean, I did not expect Garf's Goblins to be able to cleanly pull that Gold Fury without the help of Lord Garfield, but Haddock unfortunately just could not really get there in time, and they just committed to the objective cleanly. Still, you have to consider that Scrumptious are a bunch of farm goblins, man. No Garf's Goblin, just farm goblin. They like to just AFK, find their gold, and then worry about everything else after. Because they have that, do they try and just stop this aggression coming here from Garf's Goblins? I think yes. It always depends on where you want to get active. Remember, Naga spent a lot of time over on solo lane. That flop should start something of an engage, but I guess not. The Phoenix Feather probably still available, and because Haddock knows that, does not see any reason to try and find aggression on the right side of the map. If it is, if you are fighting in your Scrumptious, it's got to be off the back of Nog, man. This Loki needs to be the one getting aggressive.
Impale, root answer, Zapman backflip will create a lot of space, and Garf's Goblins, they don't chase, and good thing they didn't, as there is rotations coming out, but it looks like Scrumptious are still going to push forward, see if they can find anything. Wrong You will lead Shinto into the jungle. It's the only two for now. Nog a bit further behind. World Weaver out, hits Drunk Diplomat, but too far away for a commit from either Shinto or Nog. Dazzling offensive coming out from Garf's Goblins. They want the fight. Talisman is the answer. Desert's Fury used by Drunk Diplomat, but that brought them back into the fight. It sets them up to go down to Nog. A big-time mistake stepping forward, and life of the party could add on to the punishments for Garf's Goblins. But a good pursuit a week from Sunprod. Will that be the setup to turn a fight around? Maybe not, because Haddock still pulls through, gets a pick. That's 2 dead already for Garf's. And Lord Garfield here blinks forward, damage on, Ronnie down, but that's the only one. 3 picks now on to Garf's Goblins. Just not enough of an answer.
I love that play from Sunprod. Ulted to immune the ult in from Nog, and then wraps around to find a very clutch grab. Unfortunately, the healing from Wrong You was just too insane. I mean, those low health bars stayed low throughout the entirety of the fight, but even through a Ruinous Song and double Brawler Speed Stick, like, there was just not enough. And by the way, you know, I already slipped up on this once, but I'm not a big fan of how similar Ruinous Song and World Life Weaver look to me. You know, they look very green and they're both angled the same way. I don't like it one bit.
Yeah, you know, shout out to me though. I've got your back. I did not mention that
you hit
game
with the assist, and immediately I recognized my mistake. But now that I can see them both in game, I don't know if it was that big of a mistake.
Yeah, same colors, like you said, the same exact angle and position.
And then Life Weaver. A Life Binder, sorry. Like, look at them.
I mean, that would bait me in a memory test for sure. you show me that in like a memory squares test, I'm failing that 10 times out of 10.
Yeah, they are the same picture. So regardless, one gives anti-heal. One is just a great item to have if you want some sustain, which of course in this case is the one that Kill Cam Kenny picked up. And then Haddock is just going for some damage. And of course the ability to just heal the squad. But with that being said, you already have the Baron, and now you have to add the Emoji healing in the mix. That's why double Brawler's Beat Stick has already come through. Like the healing, the sustain is going to be an issue as this game continues for Garf's Goblins. And Rongyu knows exactly how to pilot this pickup to make sure that the healing is just pristine. So pay attention to where this Yamoja is. Pay attention to Kill Cam Kenny, who's taking a lot of damage, but Nog not gonna ult in. Probably a smart call. The rest of the squad's here.
Lord Garfield is here, perhaps the most interesting, and Rongyu in no man's land. But the Riptide will only bring them to death. Lord Garfield with the credit. Scrumptious now down a member, but still interested in the fight. We'll see what they can grab, if anybody. Pursue the weak out, looks for Zapman. Through the wall, comes up just short and cannot find it, but the damage is still on. Will Zapman go down? The laser ensures they do it. A double kill for Lord Garfield, but they killed Kenny through all of the Garf's Goblins. Their fight's looking worse. They get pulled in by Life of the Party, and Dust goes down. Haddock's doing a lot of damage back. That forces a retreat from Garf's Goblins. So the fight looked good, but not quite good enough for the old Garfs.
Beautiful rotation in. This blink on the Baron, you know, it was something that I wondered if it was going to be useful. I mean, obviously it's going to be useful, but is it going to be punishable? So far has not been the case. The blink life of the parties, the wrap it up, the steal for the squad has been clean. But you also got to give credit where credit is due. And of course, Sunprod has been making some meaningful ultimates here. Didn't A actually connect with Zapman? It's still Cam Kenny dashes in. No real threat. Regardless. But the engage on the side of Garf's Goblins has been clean. I mean, killing Rongyu is certainly possible. Glad Shield and Purification Talisman, like, you don't have that much tank stats at the moment, so it does seem like the Yamoja is going to be the traditional target for quite some time here from Scrumptious. All the while, still, Shinto has not died. Chronos Pen and Book of Thoth, very elusive, level 15 from this Morgan. Not only a lot of damage, it's a lot of just team fight presence from this pickup, depending on who Shinto goes to. And more often than not, it's the second life of the party, which is terrifying to deal with.
It's very interesting because despite the remake for this game, gold is the biggest difference. Kills kind of end up in a similar spot. Levels and experience are very close to the same. So we'll see if it continues. Dest in trouble. River's Rebuke out. World Leader 2. There's the laser to try to help with some sustain. It's working out. Dest is still alive, but is there enough of a turnaround for Garf's Goblins? Kill Cam Kenny pulled back. Now rooted. Now dead. Shinto with the credit. With that pick, Scrumptious turn, and they look for the Gold Fury, but they have no Nog for this. We'll see if the Loki rotates over, if it's a full-on split push.
Good call. I go over on right. Gold Fury started up. Could be risky without your jungler, but again, Kill Cam Kenny still dead. And Haddock's playing zone duty for now. Lord Garfield doesn't want to step up. Drunk Diplomat, the only one here, and all the while, bit of a rotation coming over to Nog. I'm surprised he's even afraid of this 1v1, but the Fury has not been dropped. It's a 4v3, but Scrumptious can't find it. They're just going to let this one go.
Yeah, just giving up on the effort. Garf's Goblins being there in numbers is a bit too much. Haddox does find some poke and Sunprod. Shinto looks for the opportunity with Rongyu. You've got Zapman there as well now, plus Nog. Sunprod still retreating, and we'll be okay. Drunk Diplomat went back to lane for some farm, now coming back to the fight. We repeat again. Gold Fury pulled by Scrumptious. Garf's Goblins, they will look for an answer. Gold down to half. Life of the party to bring in Kill Cam Kenny. And Kenny will go down indeed. Up to Garfield now for the steal. Looks for it. Goes forward the blink. Gold Fury goes to Garf's Goblins. Scrumptious unable to get it. The turnaround, the fight. Garfield might just die for it. In a lot of trouble, but plenty. A tanky. Sunprod looks for the fight as well. Is the ultimate enough to get away? It is. Garfield, though, caught out in Life of the After Party for Lord Garfield, as Shinto will find that one.
Beautiful transformation and definitely a necessary one, but you gotta give credit to Garf's Goblins. You gotta give credit to Lord Garfield for finding the blink ult and making sure that was all not for nothing. Queen Naga spawned in and easily taken down here by Scrumptious on their way out. A little bit of extra tank stats towards a possible Pyromancer later on might be the call. Gold definitely in favor of Scrumptious. That's nothing new, but I mean, Garf's Goblins, when they group up, they can definitely be a threat. It's all about itemization here. And I think Anubis has just about everything you need besides some percent pen. Surprise Totem of Death hasn't been picked up for Death yet. I mean, there's a lot of tank stats being looked at. Well, you got to fight Haddox, you got to fight Rongyu, and then you got to fight Haddox again in the form of Shinto. So I think percent pen might be something that Death needs to pick up sooner rather than later.
You know, I think I have to actually rescind what I said. I think Scrumptious actually got that Gold Fury away, looking at how it actually popped up in the coins at the top of your screen. So Scrumptious able to take that away. I thought Garfield had it. The blink, the timing, it was all perfect, but I'm genuinely shocked Scrumptious was able to get. I mean, but it wasn't obvious by me missing it, but I really thought that Garf's Goblins were able to get that Gold Fury, but instead it continues to climb upward for Scrumptious, and color me even more impressed noticing after the fact.
Well, Malum, I just trust you with all my heart, so you know I didn't
appreciate that.
Yeah,
the gold coins are hard to catch in the moment. A lot of fighting. I've already got glasses on, you know, but a blink forward combined with the life of the party. Kill Cam Kenny, nowhere to go, and goes down. A nice knockup from Lord Garfield. Could not help out this time. Reverse rebuke. Garfield just kind of sidesteps it. Phoenix Feather does a lot, but he still goes down. A double kill for Haddix. Meanwhile, though, mid lane, tier 1 gone. Dual lane, tier 1 gone.
Not bad so far, but what do they do in the meantime? That's the question. Does Scrumptious pull fire? Do they try and chase this down and stop the split push? They have to make a decision. Why not both? Send Nog to try and find Sunprod, who's in the jungle, or not. Sunprod not even going to go for the steal. I mean, I don't think you'll lose your tier 2s here. There's not enough minion waves. The Fire Giant is definitely going down, and Garf's Goblins are nowhere to be seen. They have to know this is happening, but man, Wrong U's getting weak. You got to trade this tank out.
That's an interesting one. It would have been more effective maybe if you had even sent members towards the same tier 2 tower, but splitting it wasn't enough. You won't get the tier 2 in mid. Tier 2 in duo should go down, so Garf's at least get that. But Fire Giant now around the members of Scrumptious.
Definitely good. The Garf's Goblins look like they were setting up an ambush here onto Nog. He was surrounded with Assassinate and some Invis. Not the chase down they were after. And they're going to have to give that one up. So Scrumptious now has the ability to kind of just group and push down tier 1 towers, because despite the fact that all of their towers are gone, Malum, they have not taken a single one. I mean, all 3 tier 1s are still available for Scrumptious to grab. That's a lot of real estate on the map. Try and buff up this gold lead. You're also dealing with Shinto, who is 5-0-7. Full Cosmic Horror has been picked up. That is threatening. Because, you know, we know Shinto does damage as Haddock, but he definitely does damage as himself. Still Cam Kenny, once again, in some trouble. Does have the dash, decides to look north, bring the team away from his structures. How far can he go? Will World Weaver be enough? It's like, no. I think Nog might have to hold to confirm this one, but he also could just have Blink. I don't know. Oh, the Vanish actually connects. I really thought Kenny would be able to dash one more time. Not enough cooldown.
You know, Kill Cam Kenny's ended up in a lot of horror movie scenarios. We saw earlier, Zapman was 1 auto away from catching Kenny in the bush and grabbing a pick, but perhaps more importantly, on the map itself, another split push out from Garf's Goblins. They grab the tier 1 in solo. Tier 2 getting picked up by Scrumptious in duo lane, and tier 1 in the mid lane, and Sunprod completely stuck between everybody. Pursue the weak though to get away. Perfectly timed for some safety.
So far, no problem there. Tier 2 already dropped. Mid towers being looked at by Shinto and company. I think this is a nasty 2v2. Like, who tries to go mid to deal with Shinto and Nog right now? It would not be easy if it was being done. That is going to be the end of the siege for now. Scrumptious decides to run home and spend up a bit of that gold. Probably smart. Gold Fury also here. 3rd of the game. 2nd going the way of Scrumptious. Also not a bad look. Remember, level 20 has not been hit just yet for anyone, so gold's still extremely important. And next one will be the Ancient Fury, which would certainly help the split. You got to remember, Zapman is playing Neath, but not a lot of attack speed, not a lot of true auto attack damage towards these structures. So Phoenix, still definitely a threat and not something that's easy to pull. You know, it would help a Runic Bomb, but unfortunate, Garf Goblins are going to take that one away. You don't get a Runic Bomb for your siege.
This feels like, it's so weird. This feels very Garf's Goblins, because they are playing from behind, but when I look at how they're behind, Dest is still up, still doing damage. We've seen that before, most notably, I think, on Hakate. Sunprod, low in experience in the jungle, but still making good plays, still setting up well for the rest of the team. We've seen that on Loki, we've seen that on Sasano from Sunprod. Lord Garfield, very absent in some of these fights, but still has 3 kills and has a build that allows them to facilitate. This feels to Garf's Goblin's strengths in a strange way, but Scrumptious are a team that doesn't fall for those little things, Trelly, and they're making Garf's Goblins pay for that being their style, that being their MO.
So far, that's been the call, but Scrumptious, they're still sieging 4. They have time to go for one more push, and especially if you figure out that Drunk Diplomat and Sunprod have not backed over in left lane, you could even try to force something onto Phoenix. I doubt it comes through, though, just because immediately Sunprod and Drunk Diplomat back. They're going to take attempts here, but this could be very risky. Your Phoenix is not exactly that bastion of safety. Good damage already. Garfield has to flop out. Phoenix is not going down quickly.
Here comes Sunprod as well, following up on the dazzling offensive. Will they find anybody? No, they will not! And they killed Kenny! Next up, Sunprod. Look at the damage from Scrumptious. It's crazy big damage. Looking for the Anubis next. Death goes down. Double kill for Zapman. Drunk Diplomat tries to escape with Lord Garfield, but the On Her should hit the dirt next, and indeed does. Shinto with the credit for that one. And Garf's Goblins, they made one final attempt for defense there. It doesn't work out. Now it's just Garfield for the lone defense. And Scrumptious step into the throne room. They turn their attention to the Bacchus. They will not find the kill. Titan's still the focus. Wrong U's gonna die. Maybe still some hope, but Scrumptious keeping it clean. Down to 3,000 on the Titan, down to 1K, and it is gone. Scrumptious take game 1.
Dude, I think that could have been a cleaner defense if Garf's Goblins just didn't leave their bird. Like, again, I made it quite clear before the siege even began. They didn't have, like, a true auto attacker. They didn't have Polynomicon. They didn't have, like, Hydra's autos. Like, that would have been hard to try and burn through. But Garf's Goblins said, don't worry, guys. We know Phoenix hurts. We're going to fight you out of the Phoenix. And that's kind of where things started to go a little bit sour. I mean, Lord Garfield took a lot of damage early on, but he had the Phoenix Feather. He was able to get away. And then Kill Cam Kenny and Sunprod dive way out of the Phoenix, and that's where things started going a bit bad. But hey, so, I mean, Scrumptious had the lead for sure. I just don't think that needed to be the game-ending play just yet.
Yes, you know, it's funny. We talk sometimes about the passivity, apathy being death for some teams, but in that situation, you really just needed to be slightly more patient, because I'm with you. Yep. If they had waited, the Sunprod ultimate was great. The counter engage was there. Even the dazzling offensive wasn't too bad of an idea, but doing it outside your Phoenix and just letting Scrumptious dictate the pace of that fight, definitely not the play. And Garf's Goblins pay for it for sure. But that's game number 1. It goes to Scrumptious after the remake. They keep their momentum strong. We'll see if they can keep the momentum rolling into game number 2 when we come back after these messages.
There's a light away. It's never been done before.
What's the plan?
When was the last time you were in Vegas?
You want to host an esports event in Vegas for SMITE. SMITE 2. Now you're talking.
The hi-rez Arena, Las Vegas.
Some said it couldn't be done.
Are you guys out of your mind? The J Dragons winning worlds can't be beat. Not shouldn't be beat. It cannot be beat.
This January, see SMITE like you've never seen before.
You clowns are gonna need a team even crazier than you. Who'd you have in mind?
Coming this January, Hindu Man's 11.
You're either in or you're out.
I'm in.
Hello and welcome back. And are you in? Fun fact, Dolson was actually on that plane, and you can be on a plane as well, potentially drive close, depending where you're at, but most importantly, you could be at the Founder Series Las Vegas event at the hi-rez Arena. It's what this is all for, the road to Las Vegas, but the Founder Series for the championship to see who can actually prevail out on top for that $300,000 prize pool. So scan that QR code, get your ticket today while they're still around, because there are very few left, and Vegas, that's what's waiting for you, and hopefully some very exciting games with the top of the talent the Founder Series has provided. And Charlie, it's provided some great talent up to this point. Game number one, in a weird way, and we talked about this off air, Garf's Goblins kind of impressed me in some aspects. It definitely, there was a lot of stuff that needs working on, but when you consider not just the caliber, but the experience of the players and compare them across the battleground to each other, Garf's Goblins have a lot of reasons to feel happy with that game.
Yeah, I would say so. There was some mistakes, obviously, some overextensions, maybe some plays just sticking around where you probably shouldn't have. But at the end of the day, I mean, it was close up to a point. I really think if that last Phoenix fight goes a bit differently, we could have been talking about, another defense, another Fire Giant dance. But I think Garf's Goblins got a little bit too trigger happy, a little bit too overzealous, and then stepped out of their bird maybe too early. But that's one of the strengths of their composition. They had a good dive comp, so we'll see if maybe in P's and B's they change things up. They go for some more dive, some less dive, some peel, because I think I like what they had to offer, but when a dive comp gets behind, it becomes a bit sketchier.
Well, in game one, I think we all learned why Baron has been banned so much. So will that be banned away by Garf's Goblins? Scrumptious stick with Susano, not allowing Sunprod to have it, not allowing any weird ADC picks that Food Drive for Glow figured out that was the Achilles heel for Zapman, but
what?
Garfs go with the Amaterasu and they leave the Baron open.
Huh.
That's not what I expected to see at all.
Yeah, I was a little bit puzzled by that one. We'll have to see exactly how the rest of the P's and B's go through before we get confirmation on that. But Scrumptious, they've got options here. Okay, it is actually a Fenrir. We're getting confirmation, so that's not Amaterasu. That makes a little bit more sense, but actually doesn't clear up a lot of what I was thinking. Yeah. Even though it's Fenrir,
where was the Baron?
It's still not Baron. Like the fact that it was Ama, and oh, that's a mistake. I'm like, okay, cool. Like it's Fenrir. I'm like, that still doesn't answer my question.
That's still not as good. You're still not forgiven, Garf's Goblins. We'll have the picks and bans back here in literally just a second. But it was a Fenrir, so Baron is open for Scrumptious for the taking if they would so choose. And I don't know, Trelly, I can't help but feel like that's a big time mistake from Garf's Goblins that Scrumptious can capitalize on.
Well, remember, the Loki was a big talking point, so that's got to be the change up, right? We give up Baron, we take Loki. Is it worth it? We'll have to see. I would definitely take the Loki. I might even take the Morgan, man. Just give us double Loki, and then we can deal with the rest after. I think Anubis here would be okay, but I'd be trying to get Shinto off of Comfort immediately because that guy was a menace, and I have never not seen him pop off. So that's where I'd be at. They did take the Loki. That's obviously the smart call. I agree with that 100%. But if you're not getting the Morgan, you just give so much freedom to Shinto. And when that guy gets to play as he wants, there's not a lot of people that can kind of knock him off that. that swag he's got going. I couldn't think of the flow. Maybe the flow is better, but regardless, it'll look clean.
I like the swag a bit. I'm not gonna lie to you. The Shinto swag, I like the combination there. But the Odin, it's funny. I would have loved to see Lord Garfield, who potentially will have this Odin. I would have loved to see that in the last couple of weeks, but in this scenario, I'm just not as in on it because I'm with you. I would have loved to have seen the Morgan there, or maybe even the Hekate picked up, and then look for Odin here. Instead, we have the Odin Yamoja combination for Garf's Goblins after Scrumptious lockdown Amaterasu Neat. Anubis is the go-to for Garf's Goblins, so they're kind of drafting to the things we didn't want to see.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing you have to consider is that double Phantom Shell, or at least two, probably multiple Phantom Shells, is going to counter a lot of what Odin and Yamoja want to do, but it opens the doors for Anubis and Loki. The stuns, the beads, the Aegis, all of those things, all will be more difficult to deal with when you have to deal with Phantom Shell. So, keep that in mind if you are Scrumptious, because Baron's going to get stuck in the cage, Ama's going to get stuck in the cage, and of course, if you wait for the back, at least you can get stuck in it as well. Unfortunately, this is something we knew was coming, and now you have the possibility of the double Baron. You can transform into Loki. You can even transform into Anubis and Thanatos towards the end here.
Oof.
Definitely a scary grab. I mean, again, I love this Loki, but gods like Fenrir and like Thanatos that can take it to him early can really stop Loki from hitting that critical mass at like level 20 plus. You can't go higher than level 20, but I mean level 20 in full build. That's when Loki really starts cooking, and if you don't let him get to that point, that's how you shut him down.
Honor grabbed up as the final selection for Garf's Goblins. We've learned through the Founder series that when Drunk Diplomat has an opportunity to go on her, it'll probably be selected. Jingwei was available, but no real interest at this time in the Jingwei for sure. So the closer we get to game, Trelly, it's going to be a matter of if Garf's Goblins can hit the ground running. And matter of fact, we're good for a game to see if they hit the ground running. Let's head on to the battleground and see if they do. Scrumptious one game away from the playoffs. Garf's Goblins, they've got a lot of work to do, but it starts here. Anthony Squared and Doug to talk all the action at you. And relic-wise, I gotta say some changes that I'm actually pretty excited to see. The Blink's a little bit less, more Phantom Shells, the two that you called for, Trelly. And the Aegis for the Anubis is probably the thing I'm the happiest to see for Garf's Goblin.
I definitely like the Aegis on Anubis, but it does kind of stink that you can't really cast it while channeling, your abilities. That's the benefit of Shell, right? You can Shell pop your one, Shell pop your ult, and you get that benefit during the cast, whereas you have to cancel those abilities to Aegis in most cases, which can definitely add up if you don't want to get executed or stunned or things like that. Something I didn't really consider, and that we're seeing here firsthand, is that Haddox is not piloting this Baron, which also means that Shinto doesn't get the cool Blink Baron, which also means that Shinto is likely going to be Thanatos or Loki for the rest of this game. You don't want to turn into support Baron, man. It's fun, but it's not going to give you the same effect as the other pickups might do. So there's something else you might want to consider when Shinto goes into his ultimates. It's not going to be that same level of CC and chase down potential that he had in the previous game.
No crazy invades. No early pick on Drunk Diplomat, it would appear, this time through. Which does make a lot of sense. It'd be hard to repeat that 2 times. We saw how aware Garf's Goblins were in the remake of Game 1. So, calm start overall. The same start, though, from Garf's Goblins of sending the jungler to help with the blue buff, then go to red, which is, I feel like they're one of the few teams we're seeing do that.
It really depends. I think there's a lot of different ways you can play your early game and still have it worthwhile. But you have to just watch out for what the enemy team is also trying out. Like, if you're a jungler and you want to start at your own red buff, that's fine. If you want to invade their red buff, that's fine. But it'll become very apparent after, like, the first buff you grab, or like, oh, I haven't seen Loki. Where did he start? Or like, oh, he's got red buff. Okay, so his speed's still up. It's a lot of he did, so I'll did. Kind of like rock, paper, scissors in a sense.
Right.
You're going to look at each other. You're going to see the belt you're wearing and see what's open. Red for Shinto, blue and speed here for Nog. And that blue buff obviously was the one that was right in mid lane, so you don't got to go too far to figure out what happened. Relatively even for now, but where do these junglers head is the question. Do you go for a cringe rank over in duo? I don't see too much kill potential here. I think Wrong You is the most dead if a gank happens, but even with that, there's so much sustain. There's Shell. And it doesn't really seem like anyone's going to be overextending here, which makes it a lot more difficult to be Sunprod and Nog.
We've seen how dangerous Thanatos gets when you speed run to late game. Fight will break out in mid. Shinto wrapped. There's the blink out. The turn around, the stun. Denied by the blink from Sunprod. And the sight won't find a home from Nog. Zapman, wee bit of trouble. Taking a lot. Goes forward into the lane. Phantom Shell out. Responded to with Phantom Shell of Garf's Goblin's own. Will the heal be enough? Drunk Diplomat taking a lot of poke. Will have to step away. Zapman on the hunt. Is there enough space? There's the root, but the jump will ensure the safety of Drunk Diplomat. Nicely played by Garf's Goblins to stay alive there. It looked like Scrumptious were really confident in their kill potential.
Sure were. There's just so much sustain in both these lanes, right? Like, Zapman and Wrong U have self-sustain, plus squads sustain with Wrong U. And then, of course, Killcam Kenny doesn't have to hit anything to make sure that the heals come through. Good Riptide, but Zap's got backflip, and it's so much safety on this Neath pickup. I still do really like the Neath in multiple roles here. Like, I prefer in mid lane, but even in carry, just has everything you could want. Good clear, good early game, global presence, sustain. Speaking of, Addicts might need to sustain through some damage here from Sunprod, but didn't body block the dash. So Addicts isn't in too much trouble. And that now gives information to Scrumptious. Hey, there's a Loki over and right. If you want to get active elsewhere, like maybe onto Dest, you certainly could. Not something that Nog wanted to go for, but a speed buff invade, 10 seconds. Sunprod teleports in. He wants to be here immediately. You don't want to let a Thanatos bull you early. I like this call a lot.
Another miss scythe for Nog. We're denying a lot of damage onto Nog.
And we're counting
from Nog. Yeah, that's one thing we're good for sure, is counting the miss scythes. they're lucky. They're very lucky. There's no like Ho-Yi ricochets in. That's where demon hours would come out for sure. I'd have my notepad for sure covered in marks of how many times they hit. One thing that's interesting, duo buffs. I'm so used to seeing both teams go hyper aggressive on duo buffs and invading them as early as possible, but neither side really interested this time. World Weaver out. Wrong U around the corner. Waiting for the jump, perhaps for life of the party. It's out, but River's Rebuke denies it. Killcam Kenny, the one pulled back, the kill potential much lower. You've got Nog here on the Thanatos, instantly impale. Drunk Diplomat probably saved their support, at least from some poke, but potentially even from death.
Yeah, that could have been execute threshold if not played properly. But you don't have to worry about it. Impale is on point for the duo side. Hey, I mean, it goes to show Scrumptious is trying to play through this duo lane. At least trying to find some action onto Drunk Diplomat. It's not easy. River's Rebuke is a great shutdown tool, even if you're not locked in the walls. Like the amount of Omi it provides, the multiple stuns, multiple heals, good damage. All pretty much equal in some rough times. Coming from behind is the play. Beautiful hovering death there. You gotta time that, right? Ult for ult. Not a bad trade there, but I think definitely a necessary one, because if Nog gets stunned, you're probably getting the mean end of the laser eyes and Dest is picking up a kill. But immediately just channeling that ult the second you hear assassinate, smart call and definitely one that needed to be made.
More poke on Drunk Diplomat in the mid lane. We saw an attempt for Shinto, but the decoy actually worked pretty well in dissuading Sunprod from pushing it further. So still no first blood 5 minutes in, and Garf's Goblins, you mentioned this, that they might learn a lot from game number 1, and so far it seems like they are. How long can you keep it that way? Dest turns towards the left, which actually turns to be a better call. Thanatos can't chase further in that scenario, so everyone's staying alive again. I'm thoroughly impressed by Garf's Goblins' early game.
So far, there hasn't been much of anything, right? Like, it's still 0-0.
Which is weird how that feels like a positive, right?
I mean, let's look late game then, right? You got Anubis, you got Loki, two of the best characters in the game, in my opinion, if you're able to get them to 6 items. Odin falls off pretty hard. Amma is only going to get better. Thana, it's difficult for me. Thana used to be that guy that was like, oh, he's really good early, then falls off. And if you want to talk about poke damage, he gets outclassed by Loki 10 ways to Sunday. Like, it is night and day difference. Your Death Scythe cannot compare to a Heartseeker, Soul Reaver, Crusher proc on the decoy every couple seconds. Right. So Loki's definitely going to lean that way. But then Neath and the Morgan, I'm giving them the credit over the, not the Anubis, but over the on her for sure. So it's kind of back and forth. Regardless, I think Scrumptious has no problem with this game just going on, right? Because even if you lose value on your poke, you still have a health execute, which is only going to improve your chances if you are Nog. So not a bad look. If this game just stays stagnant, and right now, of course, it's not exactly even, Scrumptious still ahead farm-wise, I don't think they're too upset about it.
Nog finds Sunprod in the jungle, a little bit of poke, but no further engage. Sunprod, though, does turn, looks for the red buff that is being invaded. Stolen away by Nog. The fight will continue. You've got rotations out. To the sky instantly is the Thanatos, looking for a landing spot. Might be Dest. Will catch the Aegis. Will catch nobody. The Assassinate's good. The Wrap is there. The first blood is for Garf's Goblins. Is there more backup to be had? The Odin Cage is out. The laser on the Shinto. They will not find the pick. Drunk Diplomat's on the way and almost dead in the meantime. Kill Camp Kenny will find Haddix. Drunk Diplomat did die, and Shinto finds Sunprod. So we went from no blood to all the blood after first blood, and we ended a 2-2 situation at 8 minutes.
Man, I didn't know if Shinto's going to be able to weasel his way through there. Sometimes you can walk over the Queen Naga's tail, and then sometimes you can't. But look at this play, passing back and forth. Zapman and Wrong You have the Gold Fury getting low, and nope, no one on the side of Garf's Goblins even knows this is going down. It was relatively even 2 for 2, but losing the Gold Fury in the process is definitely not something the Garf's Goblins was looking for. Scrumptious will make out just a little bit better. However, you do have to consider the mental victory, because getting those 2 kills when you're down a little bit is not a bad look here for Garf's Goblins. I did like the aggression in from Sunprod. I did like the fact that Dest was able to survive the double Amaterasu, which is not easy to do. Because Haddix picked up Bracer, right? That's like 60 int and a lot of attack speed, and Ama does scale very well with intelligence. Those seem to be the guys you got to watch out for this game. I was talking about Nog and Shinto before. Now I'm going to be talking about Haddix and Shinto.
Lord Garfield, not afraid to throw, but as Chili mentioned, that Bracer does a lot in the Poke Fest. Scrumptious, pull Queen Naga in front of Garf's Goblins, and the in front is the key. The leash goes further, but I don't know if you can full commit to this in the face of Garf's Goblins. Scrumptious seemed to know the same thing. Perhaps looking for the fight instead, but no, Garf's Goblins walk away. The Queen Naga will go to Scrumptious for free. I'm surprised that Garf's Goblins didn't try to make more of a contest happen to take away that buff, but they do, and it's going to be around the bells of Scrumptious, and with Gold Fury already gone, you have some time with that Queen Naga.
I'm just going to forward it to you for now. Go and find some more blood. Trying to chase down Sunfront is the call here. Can Nog go face more? He does have Blink, but doesn't need it. He's so much faster. We definitely need the Death Sight and the Hovering Death afterwards. Gotta land it though. Do you predict where he is himself, or do you wait? Oh, he's got the tick damage. Didn't even need to. Beautiful play. That's the red buff diff. That's the caustic tick damage. Telling him exactly where he's at. And now, unfortunately, Lord Garfield also caught in the action. It's just like that, Malum. The flip of a switch, and we see overwhelming aggression from Scrumptious.
And what a read of the map, too. Scrumptious had already gotten the Gold Fury, so you can fully commit in the right side of the map like that. They dropped a lot of ultimates for Lord Garfield, and I'm sure the viewers at home, they're used to hearing casters say, wow, that was a lot of ultimates committed for that kill. But in that situation, when you've got nothing to worry about being taken otherwise, sure, why not make sure you kill the Odin? Now you get all the farm from the right side, and you starve Garf's Goblins even further of farm. Plus a Warhorn at that. Like you said, flip of a switch, completely different game.
Not a bad look at all for Scrumptious. They're able to continue pushing forward. You gotta worry about Pyromancer coming in soon, but for now, not gonna be the biggest deal in the world. And you also have to think about itemization, right? Who's matching damage with Shinto? Book of Thoth into Divine Ruin for Dest, definitely not bad. Anubis is Anubis, so you have plenty of damage if you're able to lock it down. But there hasn't been too much hard CC in front of Dest, right? The Yamoja's decent, but with Phantom Shells, you have to hit those stuns. You have to hit those bubble bounces. And Sun Prod needs to save Assassinate to get out of trouble more often than not. So trying to save that one is also a bit risky. And I think when you have hard CC in your face, on a pick, on an immobile mage like Anubis, your job gets so much easier. Speaking of easy jobs, here comes the pull. Life of the party definitely going to connect here. You already beat. That should be threshold. And of course, Nog picks that one up, no problem.
Scrumptious are still around a lot of members of Garf's Goblins. Will the fight go further? Anubis ultimate out. Not going to find anybody. Matter of fact, that Anubis might just go down. There is a kill on 2-1, but I mean, You lost 2 with your Garf's Goblins, so it doesn't feel as great for sure. Plus, with the Loki still hanging around, not finding more picks, not ideal. Maybe there's one to be had on Wrong You. Will be cleaned up, or will Sunfrog go down and trying? Wrong You low, down to Lord Garfield. A good rotation over, but now the Dazzling Offensive is here, and that's going to find Sunfrog just nowhere to go. The route onto Garfield, and Haddix might want this one too with Zapman. The chase forward, the shield, maybe not enough. Garfield should be okay to get away, but damage done. Another strong fight from Scrumptious, and a bit messy from Garf's Goblins.
Messy is the word. You still find a little bit of action. Killing Wrong You's not a bad look, but it has all been at the pace of Scrumptious, which I think is the big difference maker here. You have really dictated the pace of this game, and you're trying to answer back to the aggression from Scrumptious, which is never the way you want to play, but unfortunately that's what's been afforded to Garf's Goblins by just how much has come their way. Gold Fury's up. One has already went the way of Scrumptious, and the gold is continuing to climb. But remember, teleporters are inactive, so Haddix could stay over right until he feels like it's time and rotate over. This is a beautiful ult. Does Anubis have the damage before he gets up to the sky? Yes, yes. Finally makes use of the death gaze, and that's a big pick for Garf's Goblins. What else can they do in the meantime? I want to see more aggression. You killed a huge threat on Scrumptious. Don't let it stop here.
You have to wonder if Garf's Goblins will try to just continuously repeat that process on the Thanatos, like Trelly has mentioned. They do go for the purple buff Invade, and they get it away from Scrumptious. Postured around gold, and Scrumptious are more than aware. Now you've got the rotation out from the Amaterasu. World Weaver charged. Will there be a main target? Everyone's grouped up on Garf's Goblins, so it needs a go button from Scrumptious, but they don't have Shinto here, which will affect the fight. You've got Wrong You around the back. Is there going to be anything there? Haddix can't get the still quite yet. Maybe did. Garf's Goblins trying to keep it up. Maybe they got the gold. Scrumptious looking for the fight after the fact that they've got a setup. Can they find any picks on the Garfs? No, the full retreat will be enough. So that's a gold fury for Garf's Goblins and perhaps an escape. Nog looks for Kill Cam Kenny. Not there. So yeah, +1 gold fury. Garf's Goblins play that well.
Right about that one. Heading right is the call here. Maybe a tier 1 tower. Here comes life for the party, and unfortunately the egg is not enough to get down to trouble, but you're living through it. If you're dead, how much damage do you have? You have plenty.
Oh my god!
He goes down, but trades out his life. Happy if you're that one. Unfortunately, Kill Cam Kenny takes the damage, and Cheeto gets the credit. Dark Omen. And thankful for that one, and Haddix popped it away. Not a tier 1 tower, but a 2-for-1 trade, which is all right. Sunprod was lurking. Doesn't really have an ability to go forward. I think you're okay if you're Garf's Goblins, though. You're all right with those trades. As long as you don't lose Lord Garfield, things could be worse.
For Garf's Goblins, I know that they can play the map the way we just saw. The Gold Fury call was good. Lord Garfield in particular, I mentioned, formerly known as Super Death Fang, has led a lot of collegiate teams to championships in SMITE 1. I think back-to-back for Texas A&M at times. So there's experience, there's map knowledge, there's game sense that's there for Garf's Goblins. It's been that experience that they've been gaining throughout the Swiss, Trelly, that you've called to, that they've gotten. But putting it into practice against a team like Scrumptious is simply not easy, especially when Haddix can make plays like that onto your Loki, who might be able to get away. But Pyro pulled from Garf's. There's that response I was mentioning. Wrong You looking for the steal in the face of Garf's Goblins. Nog on the way right behind the Baron. Cage out to slow them down. Pyro down to 1,000. Who's it going to go to? Oh, the kills go to Scrumptious, that's for sure. The land down for another. Shinto's got that. Wasn't even worth it.
It was not. You can see that Wrong You picked up the Runic Bomb, so end of the day, not something that Garf's Goblins really needed to go for, and definitely not something that they wanted to go for. Now, Fire Giant started up. No Sunders in play, but a Runic Bomb in Wrong You's pocket. And already Lord Garfield knows this is happening. How much steal potential does an Odin have? How quickly can this be done without an ADC? All questions that are going to be answered effective immediately, because here comes Lord Garfield.
Got to be perfect on this jump. Down 1,000 to jump forward. The Fire Giant, a good attempt, but it looks like it was not enough. And Scrumptious will chase down Lord Garfield for jumping in. The shield is out, and eventually Lord Garfield will go down.
Honestly, it looked well timed. Unfortunately, just did not have the damage to back it up. Like,
yeah, you can see the fire around Zapman.
Yeah, I think I would have jumped at around 800 as well, but with just Mystical Mail and Bead, like, you just don't have the damage off your shield Rotation over to Zap, man. Could be clean if they catch him out, but Zap's smarter than that, and he does not want to get caught out, so he's just going to return to base Sun Prod. Unfortunately, not gonna... Wait, Zap's just taking the bait? I mean, hey, there's no one here, so is it really bait? I don't think so. Zap has plenty of damage. Backflip and ult might have been enough to try and find a kill, but the rest of Garf's Goblins have not let Sun Prod by himself, so he's able to stick around no problem. Meanwhile, the rest of Scrumptious is on the way. I don't think Killcam Kenny wants to get spotted out here.
I'm with you. The Riptide used. Killcam Kenny aware of the dangers. Sees Haddix. A backflip from Zapman to get aggressive. Looking for the root. Can't find it. Jump away from Drunk Diplomat. But the stun from Haddix might be too much. And the on-her might go down. World Weaver used. No execute required. Haddix with the first pickup. There's the execute on the Killcam Kenny. And Garf's Goblins lose 2 on the left side. They'll lose their tier 1 as well. Gold Fury spawns soon. Fire is already down. Scrumptious, you said it before the matchup even began, Trelly. It was going to be tough because Scrumptious had locked in since that upset from Food Drive for Globe, and it's showing in this matchup.
Absolutely is. They are playing a clean brand of Smite, a consistent brand of Smite, not really leaving anything on the table here for Garf's Goblins to try and grab. 10,000 gold currently in their favor. And remember, we talked about this last game. It's not as if sieging Phoenixes becomes easy. If Garf's Goblins are able to find their rhythm and turtle and just, you know, get picked underneath the Phoenix, there's still room to come back in this game. But if I'm Shinto, I'm probably working on Poly 2 items from now, as opposed to the next item. That would definitely help. The Gold Fury, not a bad look. Ancient Fury will be coming in afterwards. I assume that Scrumptious tries to go in for the big one. Can we see the solo kill? Or not solo kill, the kill on the Sun Prod. I think that damage is enough. I don't even think Haddix needs to do anything. Yep, Zap has it. Unfortunate. Only 3 items.
Cool guys don't look at World Weavers.
Yeah, you do not have the damage for an Aegis to try and survive that one. Oh my goodness, Zap. Backflip dead? Oh, he didn't have it in time.
Drunk Diplomat, the up down, Desert's Fury for the response. Trying to keep the dream alive. Zapman gets healed, gets shield. The Drunk Diplomat eats the dirt. Killcam Kenny to follow. A double kill for Nog. The effort from Garf's Goblins was noticed, but the result is all Scrumptious.
All Scrumptious all the time. Pushing will continue. Haddix just running past Lord Garfield with a 5-level lead. Okay, it jumped down to 4. Still scary. Still terrifying if you're an Odin.
Happy
I
Halloween.
really want to try and deal with the Yama. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know who wants to deal with the Yama at this point. Haddix doing a lot. We're about to see how much Haddix is doing twice. Oh, no. Aegis it all, though. Not bad. So yes. I'm seeing double, and it's working out just fine. Unfortunate. I don't think in a movie Death was going to live that one.
Sun Prod getting chased out. World Weaver 2, and the tackling offensives just keep landing through because of the Morgan and Scrumptious. It's Phoenix time, and for Garf's Goblins, it's a do or die situation. You gotta stay alive somehow. But Scrumptious, they've got playoffs on the mind. Into the throne room they go early. Life at the party. Gonna pull one in. But there is Rebuke beat up for defense. Haddix already has Killcam Kenny down, so the Rebuke didn't do much. Scrumptious on Titan. They got some minions there. Titan gonna be down to half. Thanatos to the sky. Is there a landing point? A shutdown on Haddix. That's surprising, but there's a land onto the Titan, down to 5,000. Scrumptious really want the end here, but Garf's Goblins are trying to hold on. You've got Dest, you've got damage. The Titan's still alive, down to 2,000, and Dest comes up massive and holds everybody off. Garf's Goblins live to see another day, at least for the time being. They get the deicide.
Man, I think Haddix took some damage from the well. I'm not 100% sure, but him getting picked was definitely a big deal there. Did not have the minions. 2,000 HP on the Titan, but it stands tall. And now Garf's Goblins have time to try and get some jobs done. What's the plan? Tier 1 tower. Sun Prod, you clear out minions because our Titan is at 2,000 HP. The unfortunate truth is, Scrumptious will be back in here plenty of time to even defend their tier 2 probably if they have to teleport us. You can't get too much action in the meantime. Where do you go next? Grab a Pyromancer, so now Garf's Goblins have a chance to steal. The Fire Giant becomes something that we're talking about soon in the future. I don't hate this call, but this is really all they were able to do. A tier 1 tower and Pyromancer. Now they still have to be watching their back constantly.
Look at that Titan health.
You gotta think, Shinto could transform into Dest. you got to worry about at 2000 HP, anyone, even Wrong You, might be able to solo this Titan if given like a solid 10 seconds with it. So you really do have to watch out. Maybe that's a bit of a stretch. Wrong You might be the only one who can't, but everyone else certainly could kill that Titan.
Especially if you group up right. I like to call it a Shinto as well. You could almost run 2 Amaterasu's up. We've seen the dazzling offensive combination that would give you enough of a sort of CC immunity and CC causing phase to get past. But that's all assuming that Scrumptious feel like they have to go for that backdoor end. They could do what they're doing now. They could just group up, force a fight, and end the game the old-fashioned way, because Garf's Goblins haven't been able to keep up with that.
I don't think Garfield meant to jump there because he had no idea the rest of the squad is on the way. World Leader has a stun. Is he in threshold? Not quite yet, but the Amaterasu I might. If it's not the first download, it might be the second one finally. Lord Garfield goes down, but Dest is here. Could be scary stuff. The rest of Garf's Goblins are on the way.
Scrumptious not going to take the bait, not going to step further. Looks like Fire Giant is their call. They've got the 5v4, no Odin to help out Garf's Goblins, and that is the call. Scrumptious will be patient. Fire started up, no instant answer from Garf's Goblins, but they've got a lot of members around. There's damage onto Nog already, but Sunprod will pay the price. Shinto with the pickup, and the rest of Garf's Goblins, minus Death, are retreating and conceding fire. Scrumptious, they're going on the chase. They're not going for the fire. Now Death will back aware of the same thing.
Probably a smart call. Again, someone had to clear left side minion just to make sure Titan didn't die. And now, are we looking at a Phoenix or should we be looking for the edge? You got time. Lord Garfield spawns in here in 4 seconds. Stuck underneath. The Rip Center, sorry, Wrong You goes down. They're still trying to edge you. This could be risky.
The Phoenix is up soon and left, and there's still tier 2 towers up on the map from mid and right. But there's the end. There's the backdoor attempt. It's at 2,000. Garf's Goblins trying to hang on. They defend it again. Scrumptious still have Haddix and Shinto alive, but it's not going to be an easy task to even stay alive. And Garf's Goblins weather the storm again like water on rock.
I mean, I don't like that call at all. I get that Titan was low,
Where was
but
the patience?
not low enough for a 1 HP Thanatos and a Neath to go in after it. Like, I said anyone could kill the Titan, and that's true, but in the right situation. You have to have some vision. That left side bird has spawned in. Titan is going to start respawning, and Fire Giant is a very real possibility here for Garf's Goblins. They don't do it quickly. They don't have any crit chance. And you know what? Haddix and Shinto might be so much of a threat. This could be a throw. This is still terrifying to go for in the face of 2 of Scrumptious.
Titan healing up for Garf's Goblins. Scrumptious aware. Haddix nearby. Looks like Fire is a light attempt. Killcam Kenny's not even fully committing, and they do walk out of the pit.
Yeah, this would be so bad.
Wise call. So Charlie, what went wrong for Scrumptious? Should they have stayed on fire and never chased for the end?
Yeah, I mean, I thought they were going to go in for the Phoenix. I thought that was their call. I thought they were going to go in left side and just like wait for the Phoenix to spawn in. I didn't hate the idea to go for the end, but you got to do it together. They took too much damage from Dest. Nog goes up into the sky with 0 HP, and Zap thinks, hey, if you tank for me, I'll end. So Zap backflips in, and then the second Nog lands, he dies, and he's like, I can't tank anything for you, bro. I'm 1 HP. And now this isn't even a bad call by Garf's Goblins. Go ahead and grab the Ancient Fury while Scrumptious is doing gold, and then go back to Turtle. I've already made it clear. It's not easy for them to kill Phoenixes here. I don't hate this call. You know, next Fire Giant, if they're able to get to that point and defend, Garf's Goblins will feel a lot stronger. But just take that ease of way of pushing, and now go back to turtling and trying to defend. Not a bad look here. I like the play call. It's concise, and it seems like everyone's on the same page.
Especially because the turtling has worked out perfect for Garf's Goblins.
Exactly.
They've had 2 defenses from the brink. I mean, 2,000 health the first time they survived, 1,000 health on Titan the second time they survived. 26 minutes now, and Scrumptious, they're trying again. This time, no tier 2s in their way, only Phoenixes will stand, and Garf's Goblins ready for a defense.
That is going to be the call. No runic bombs available. Don't have to worry about your Phoenix getting destroyed anytime soon, but weathering the storm may be the call here. You got to keep in mind that Nog has went for a very tanky build, so this one-shot potential doesn't really exist from the Thanatos, whereas Sunprod's getting online, slowly but surely. Phoenix has not been a target and will not be a target for some time. I mean, you need a pick here, really. It's a pick, it's Poly or Runic Bomb, and they've got none of them. So, Scrumptious is essentially just waiting for something to open up, and this is not what they were looking for.
A lot of CC on Haddix forces the ultimate to survive. The Yama barely gets away. World Weaver will not shoot out, and Garf's Goblin's still hanging on. Life of the party used by Wrong You to bring back Garf. There's a cage as well. This is a big fight. You've got to make this work, and so far, Garf's Goblins are Des with the first pick of the fight, but the health bars aren't great. World Weaver out. The shot on target, and Drunk Diplomat taken out by the World Weaver. Scrumptious needed that pick. The On Her was doing so much damage, but now you're back. You're back to a siege, and you still haven't damaged the Phoenix.
That's not been the call. They're just staying here, though. Sustain, definitely a problem. Good damage onto Yamoja, but no one can find the kill. Maybe Haddox has the dazzling offensive, will pick it up, kill Cam Kenny, gone. And now some good damage. Sunprod goes to the back line, but he finally gone. Nog gets the big
They're all
up.
gone! Scrumptious is getting rid of almost everybody. Sunprod and Lord Garfield, the last one standing. A talisman from the Odin. The jump away. Sunprod will heal to full. And that Phoenix, remember, Trelly told us the damage on structures is abysmal for Scrumptious, and it's showing. It's still taking no damage. Finally, it can get some focus from Scrumptious, but Odin's back in. The cage is out. The stun's on to Zapman, but Sunprod can't get through. The dazzling offense is too good, and Zapman secures it for Scrumptious. The Loki is no more, and the defense is beginning to break down. Lord Garfield can only do so much. Drunk Diplomat gets hit by the World Weaver off the jump from Garfield. Now stunned by the dazzling offensive, and Shinto locks it down. Scrumptious are making it work.
They certainly are, but only one Phoenix down. They have to retreat. I love the call from Scrumptious to continue the engagement. Once that ult from Shinto comes in, they feel more confident. And they still feel confident because Wrong You has joined the fight. Do we see life of the party? We sure do. Yamoja gonna be the target, and Kenny once again. Can he fall down? Yes, Zapman picks this one up. Finally, the mid Phoenix being look at, but that's spawn back in, and he's got the laser eyes trying to defend.
But he couldn't get a kill, and Scrumptious are still standing. Finally, we'll find one through. It's Zapman. Lord Garfield standing through it all, looking for some pick in the back line. Can't find it. Shinto stuck in no man's land. Will come through the wall and help Haddox, and Garfield goes down. Scrumptious, the siege continues. One of the longest I've seen. The Garf's Goblins only lost one single Phoenix through all of that, and their Titan was never even touched.
Yeah, if Shinto doesn't go back to base and pick up Polly, like, I don't know, man, because you guys do not have the damage to get these Phoenixes through brute force. It's just not there. Maybe Shinto could transform into Drunk Diplomat. Like, that's an option for sure. But even if that happens, it's not easy to full-on break the base. Runic bombs have not been saved for this issue either. I truthfully can't figure out why this wasn't something that they thought about. Maybe they thought they'd be able to just find picks, but with Nog essentially building full tank, with Shinto consistently turning into Haddox, and with Zapman, you know, just being full int need, the structure damage is severely lacking. Like, and it's not hard to pick up. Zap or Shinto could both have Poly here. It would make their life so much easier, but it's just not coming through. Regardless, one Phoenix down does help. It helps split up the presence of Garf's Goblins. Someone has to go right lane. But it will be one more Fire Giant dance at the very least here for Scrumptious.
Garf's Goblins have impressed me. I mean, there's been misplays from Scrumptious, and it'd be silly to ignore the misplays for full compliments to the Garf. But at the same time, to still be standing in this matchup is undeniably impressive. Tough part is, you're still alive, you're still defending. It's game 2 when you're down 1-0. So Garf's Goblins, they gotta lock in on this game, keep defending, keep holding out hope, and then potentially do it all over again. That's the exhausting part of a best of 3, but that's what makes a team like Garf's Goblins, that's what shows what they can do.
Running bomb being picked up, that definitely helps. Garf's Goblins gotta be on point, try and destroy it when it gets dropped. They want to keep their birds alive. Ulting on to Garf. I don't know if this is the play. And the grass was the rest of the team. And here comes Anubis.
Healing up, getting out of execute range, and doing a lot of damage to Haddox in the process. The Thanatos cannot kill the Anubis on landing. Matter of fact, Nog's going to be in trouble on the landing. Getting CC'd out, the blink away, leaving Des in the back line, who still hasn't died. Finally will go down to Zapman. That was a kill Scrumptious had to get. The Anubis has been so problematic. And Garf's Goblins know it. They split up. The Loki's trying to get away from Haddox, but it's been spotted out. So Sunprod, it's going to be a tough getaway. That Anubis kill, though, the importance is immense. Now Haddox looking for Sunprod, who who wisely held on to ult. Main damage done, no more Anubis.
Yeah, I was wondering. Use that ultimate to get in, get out, probably get out, and definitely necessary. Once again, Lord Garfield walks up. This time, Shinto is able to find him. Cannot let this get stolen. It's of the utmost importance here for Scrumptious. They need the enhanced damage towards structures, and the zone duty alone will be enough to confirm this FG. Scrumptious still has the one-man advantage for 15 more seconds, but right side Bird has spawned back in. Their advantage is gone in that regard. Sure, they still have fire and full builds and they're looking clean, but they don't have fire minions. Maybe 1 to 2 more waves pushing up right. Besides that, there is a very weak left side Phoenix that Shinto's lined up against. I wouldn't mind the split push. A 4-1, maybe a 1-3-1, something like that, because Garf's Goblins are strong when they are together as 5.
And they will be this time. Dest, for sure, the one to watch. Scrumptious, they want out of this game. They just want to go to playoffs. In Scrumptious' mind, I'm sure they were supposed to step all over Garf's Goblins, a walkover in the playoffs. That's not been the case in this game number 2, barely even in game 1. Right side Phoenix down, though, and Scrumptious beginning to start that slow death by 1,000 cuts style.
Let me call mid Phoenix where they're looking at next. That man trying to find some poke over the wall. Gotta play this one slowly. I see the Runic Bomb is still available for Shinto. That has not been dropped yet. I wouldn't mind dropping here on left side, but again, you don't want to drop it where 5 people are because they can all focus their DPS. Finally, life of the party and blink in from Lord Garfield.
A really good River's Rebuke, though, will slow everything down for Scrumptious. They can't commit, and the Thanatos ultimate was sent out from Nog. A full trust in the rest of the team, and Killcam Kenny was able to dissuade all of it. So still, biggest damage done is that right side Phoenix. The left Phoenix still weak from that enhanced minion wave of the Warhorn earlier. And Scrumptious are still knocking on the door of walking to playoffs. World Weaver out, looking for Dest. Dazzling offensive 2. Odin to the backline, try to slow it down. But what about your backline, Garfield? What about your Anubis, who cannot survive? Scrumptious, Nog will find a double kill in the throne room and look for more. Shinto's got Drunk Diplomat and Scrumptious are ready for playoffs. Garf's Goblins hung on as long as they could, but it was not long enough. Scrumptious take it 2-0.
My goodness, what a long-fought battle of attrition, but finally, Scrumptious found the opening that they were looking for. Sunprod did not have enough damage to try and keep his Titan alive. I mean, that World Weaver, there are many times Zap was just charging it up, trying to find a key target, and of course, let Shinto and Haddix do the dirty work. He's like, listen, I'll get him about half health. We'll let the Amaterasus finish the job, and that is exactly what happened. You got to give props to Garf's Goblins, though. I mean, they held the door as long as they could. Dest had some great defense moments where he would spawn in, get the ult off, try and stop with the Death Gaze. But, I mean, at the end of the day, Scrumptious did dominate both games for points, right? Like, they were able to get ahead. It's a shame that Garf's Goblins got their second win when they were so far behind. Yeah. I know you get a little bit of a buff when you have your Phoenixes on your side, but they had some clean engages. If they could find those from a more even standpoint, we could be looking at a different game here, but not going to be the case. And Scrumptious stamped their ticket to playoffs.
Scrumptious do, but Trelly, to pat both of our backs, we said it so early. We said it week 1 of Swiss stage. We said it in the open bracket stage. Watch for the teams that are standing out. Look for them. When you get to the late stages of Swiss, when you get to playoffs, when you get to last chance qualifiers, look for how they've improved. And Garf's Goblins are, I mean, for me now, the team when I think of that. 5 players who, again, they've had accolades, they have experience, be it Sunprod and the mechanics and ranked, Lord Garfield and the collegiate wins and the experience in competitive, but now it's coming to fruition against teams and world champions like Scrumptious, and with still room to breathe. Again, Scrumptious goes to playoffs, Garf's Goblins go to the 2-2 portion of the Swiss bracket, still a chance to get the playoffs themselves. Garf's, to me, are now one of the favorites in that 2-2 spot.
Absolutely. And that's the thing about the 2-2 spot is not only are you in a position where you win and you qualify, but you're also in a position where you lose and you get out. So it's very high stakes. The teams that have been together for a while and have been able to go through tough wins and tough losses like this, I think are just in a much better spot mentally in situations like that, because you don't even think about the fact that if we lose, we're out. You just think about if we win, we're done. And I think that's just, a much better way to look at things. Scrumptious, of course, is just happy to get out of this bracket. They're able to chill for playoffs. We've been talking about this a lot. There's so much value in just being able to sit back and sort of feel out the meta your own way before having to play it competitively. If you're Garf's Goblins, hey, you got your matchup next week. It's do or die time, but you should be feeling confident. You put on quite a show here for us.
You really did. And for Scrumptious, it's a return to form. You said it. They locked in since their loss to Food Drive for Globe. I think that has now been proven. I think the doubters, the naysayers of who Scrumptious are, the talks of their roster decisions, I think there's been a bit of an answer there.
Right.
But there's still a lot of cracks in the armor for Scrumptious that they've got to clean up going into playoffs, which might be the scariest portion. We'll take a look at the bracket and we'll get an idea of where we're at. Garf's Goblins do go to that 2-2 side. You can see the matchups for North America. Look within. It's a team that's looked strong, but looking at those, there's two teams for me that stand out, and it's Borscht and it's Garf's Goblins. And I wouldn't have expected to be at that point. Name and Progress, probably up there third for me, Trelly, but the talent in 2-2 is kind of shocking almost.
No doubt about it, but that's the thing. I mean, all 6 of these teams have the ability to do, I guess 3 of these teams have the ability to ruin someone's day. And it's do or die time. You're not messing with anyone but your own self. So if you're trying to get to Vegas, this is where that decision is made. There are some teams here that probably wish they qualified earlier. There's some teams here that are probably surprised they made it this far. But regardless, if you're 2-2 in this bracket, man, I think you played a heck of a run here in Swiss. And I haven't been disappointed, honestly. These matches have been great. Even the 2-0s have been like back and forth, which is exactly what you want to see.
I'm with you. It's been the Swiss stage. It's been fun to watch the competition, the competitive nature of the Founder Series grow alongside the changes and the improvements to SMITE 2 itself. It's sort of this perfect ebb and flow of it. But this was North America. There's other regions going on. In particular, we've been broadcasting EMEA. Let's check in on that bracket, see where we're at, because we've hit the same spot, the 2-2 portion of the bracket. And today, Mockingbird in particular stood out to me. Smoke Break versus Mockingbird was my matchup of the week, and Mockingbird looks so good.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. There's a lot of bangers that we will see over in that 2-2 side of the bracket as well. So cannot wait to see how the EMEA bracket turns out. I mean, man, next week's going to be so clean, but that's the thing. Well, the 1-2 matches are fun to watch, but you can't even celebrate if you win because you got to go to the 2-2 bracket, right? When it's
like, oh, we survived.
When you're already 2-2, like it is do or die time, and that's when we get to see the goofy strats, the invades, the just trying something to throw the enemy team off their game. I'm telling you, next week is not going to be. If you had a week to miss, it would not be next week.
I'm with you 100%. If there's a week that I am excited to put the most prep in for, and I'm just excited to get in the booth for, it's next weekend 100%. The action there is going to be crazy because, like you said, stakes for everybody. You either go down to last chance qualifiers or playoffs are your home. And man, it's been a point to get here, but we still have one more week of Swiss left to go, and it's been a good one. For today, that's going to do it for us. I've been Melm. I had Trelly early with me. Shout out to the casters we had earlier today who did fantastic. Of course, thanks to production. You, the viewer, you have a safe, wonderful rest of your weekend, and we'll see you again next week.
Made in Georgia.